Okay, let's talk about ports and the absolute terrible UI that KOA is created to view them with. So, right here is the port zone. This is where you drop your port banner to start taking over. Over here is where everybody gets to sit. Each zone can only have a banner from one coalition. However, as I understand the rules, you are not limited to only being in one zone. So if you wanted to use multiple banners to take up multiple zones and be able to bring over more of your team and keep out more of the others, you could do that. It feels like a bit of a waste of a banner to me, but who knows, that might be a thing. The goal of the port is to get battlefield points. Now it is important to understand the difference between that, because in this particular castle type, in the ports, occupation points and battlefield points are both available. So in all of your regular castles, let's go take a look so you can kind of see. I'm doing this one right now. So you look here, and as you can see up the top there, the ownership belongs to the seasoned coalition that reaches 200,000 occupation points first. So all your regular castles, occupation points. Ports, battlefield points are how you win the port. You need, at least for port 2, 240,000 battlefield points. It's an important distinction because I'll show you if we pull up the main temple here. Excuse me. You are going to earn for occupying that both battlefield points and individual points. Those individual occupation points are contributing to your just regular military merit for the merit store that we're all used to. The battlefield points are not only contributing to winning the port itself, but also to varying levels of rewards. They start at 9,000 battlefield points and then increase at various levels all the way up until I believe it is 60,000 battlefield points, but don't quote me, I forgot to get an exact of what the highest number level was when we just did our port. Now, while we're here, there's multiple types of buildings on a port. You can kind of think of them as main castle, beacons, and small towers, but there are some key differences. So one, there are 3 main temples. Again, these are going to provide your highest battlefield points and your individual points for getting. So those are a great one. And then as well, all around the edge, going back to that one you just saw, all around the edge are the auxiliary temples. These again, like your small towers, are going to give you battlefield points and individual occupation points. So you're going to hit a double layer of rewards and benefits for being in these towers. Really important ones are the temples of the gods. There are 3. There's the Temple of Apollo, the Temple of Aphrodite, and the Temple of Dionysus. Excuse me. We'll go over each of those. So the Temple of Apollo has a special benefit. Temple of Apollo's special benefit, it's kind of hard to read because it's that fine print. I can't really zoom in on it. But it says 10% of the wounded troops recover instantly once the march returns. So you get hit in here, 10% of your troops automatically healed as you come back from that. Then if we come over here, the Temple of Aphrodite, holding Temple of Aphrodite, your morale increases by 5 in battle. That is a pretty big deal. So you're getting a nice morale boost holding onto an Aphrodite tower. And then over here we have the Temple of Dionysus, and Dionysus towers, your final damage dealt increases by 10%. So each of those 3 beacon-like smaller towers, while they do have lower battlefield points, can really make a difference in a fight, in, killing off troops, and those can really make an impact. So definitely in terms of strategy, you kind of want to split up your strong players. Those main temples are going to be big. You're going to need people to securely hold on to those. But if you've got enough players a lot of your medium and a couple of your strong players are going to do really well to work through these other 3 temples and utilize those additional benefits to really impact your opponents. And then the last part of this one is the Sun Crystal. So there's a Sun Crystal Mountain, Chariot, and City. Starts off with a Sun Crystal Mountain. that everybody can attack. When it opens up, when the port first opens, within a minute or so, the Sun Crystal Mountain will open. It's open for 5 minutes. Anybody can attack it. You're collecting battlefield points for your chariot. So you sort of have to think of battlefield points as like a resource that you're collecting and gathering to fill up your chariot with these additional battlefield points. You can send as many marches as you want. You can send 6 marches at a time if you like. More, I guess, if you somehow, for some reason, don't have a 6 march thing, but whatever. You can send those 6 marches repeatedly over and over and over again. It's going to give you battlefield points every time you hit based on the damage that you get. So, of course, that's going to give you extra rewards. And it's going to collect all of those points like fun little crystal resources to go in your chariots. So after 5 minutes, that'll close and the chariots will pop up. Chariots will pop up. You can't see them because the port's not active, but they'll pop in over here, kind of where this like cloud area is. Each coalition that is fighting will get a chariot. So one chariot may be here, one chariot over here, another one over here, and so forth. When the chariots are active, all chariots can be attacked. You can attack any one of the chariots and your chariot can be attacked. So we can garrison your own chariot to try to protect it better, but everybody can attack. And as people attack and hit that damage and cause damage to it, they're going to end up breaking off some of your battlefield points. Those, I'm going to come in here so we can see it. As those battlefield points break off and fly around, and your chariot loses those little crystals of battlefield points that it's gathered, they're going to do this, as you can see in this little picture here, where they fly off to the side and then other people can collect those. So there's rewards for the chariot, and as those crystals break, those rewards will fall off and you can grab them. You can collect them without having to wait. Just as you see them appear, you can go ahead and collect and grab those. Once those chariots disappear, the next one is going to be the Sun Crystal City, where it's going to have an opportunity to get more battlefield points. Now, these are important because while the temples and everything is really key to hold on to and to guard, and obviously the biggest goal is to get the most battlefield points to win the port. Well, that is obviously the biggest goal. The battlefield points have all those tiers of rewards, so you definitely want to be hitting. And what's important to note is that the chariots and the Crystal Mountain, since they're not being properly garrisoned, you can hit and attack as many times as you want to get those battlefield points and get rewards. So if you have a really big alliance, a really big coalition, if you end up making it to a port a bit late and all the temples are full, you're not going to be stuck trying to figure out, well, how in the world do I get points? How do I participate? If you can get into that zone, even if you can't necessarily get into the temple, or even let's say you're a weaker player like myself, who's often there for cannon fodder and for troop benefits, I'm going to be able to make a big impact for my team by hitting the sun crystals repeatedly and working on bringing up that damage and getting us more battlefield points to carry. So even if you're feeling like you can't really support or can't get into those temples, you're going to be able to support in other ways. You're going to be able to still contribute, and you're still going to be able